Remembering how to play a full song all the way through on the guitar can be a bit of a challenge. Sometimes I just want to sit down and play the guitar to have fun. That's exactly what I want to show you guys in this lesson. We're going to take an E chord and I'm going to show you 5 things you can do with an E chord to start sounding like a pro. Let's check it out. So the first move I want to show you guys here is what I call the movable E chord shape. Now this is something you may have experienced on your own, but if not, this is one of the funnest things about the guitar here. So if we take this first E chord shape, play it right where it lies in the beginning. Now try this. This is what I call the flamenco turnaround. You move it up 1 fret. And you get this awesome sounding flamenco chord that really resolves nicely back to that E, right? It's a great, great classic sound. Easy way to get that flamenco tease on the guitar. So 1 up sounds good. If you keep going 1 more fret above there, that sounds awesome. Go up 1 more. That sounds awesome. There's one that doesn't work here. This one right here, when we're at fret 6 and 5, this is the only one you don't want to hit. But 1 fret beyond that, 7 and 6, that one sounds amazing. So try jamming out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, skip a fret, and then our 5th chord up there. So try taking that E chord, moving it up a fret, up another fret, right? Throw your own strum patterns on there. If you're a finger picker, try doing some cool finger picking stuff here. The possibilities are endless. Give it a try. Tip number 2, pinky on the 2nd fret. So one of my favorite things about playing an E major chord shape is this is one of these chord shapes where we've got a free finger. See that? My pinky's just hanging out ready to go. Now, that also makes this chord a little bit easier to grab because we've only got 3 fingers. But the thing I want to talk about today is the fact that you've got a free pinky to color up that chord and to do a little bit of what I like to call chord chemistry. We're going to put a new note into this chord with that pinky and see what it sounds like. So the pinky actually is going to sound awesome on the 2nd fret of the G string, B string, or the high E string. So your pinky is going to be a valuable finger to really color up this E chord. Check it out. If I take the regular E chord, if I add it onto the G string, get this beautiful E sus4. Go back to E. Now put your pinky on the 2nd fret of the B string. Get this beautiful sounding E6 chord. And then if we go up to the high E with that pinky, we get a 9 up there, E add 9. So you can do a lot of cool things with adding this pinky on here. One you've probably heard a lot is pinky on the G string 2nd fret. If you just play around with that, creates this beautiful sound that just wants to resolve back to the E chord, right? Same with all of these. They're great to use as little complements to your E chord, right? You're playing the E, add a 6, then go back. And maybe sus, so G string. Right, so start by adding it on the B, then take it off. Then I'll put it on the G, and then take it off. Now that sounds a whole lot cooler than me just sitting here strumming an E chord over and over again, right? Sounds way more interesting if I can get some of these. So try that. We got a free pinky. Explore that pinky. Add that to any 2nd fret. It's gonna sound awesome. Give it a try. Tip number 3, the hammer-on. Now, one of the coolest things about this E chord shape here is you can hammer on any finger in this chord and it's gonna sound awesome. Check it out. If I go take my 2nd finger here first, if I take it off, play the open string it's on, so the A string, and then hammer it on. That's the first move here, trying it with the 2nd finger. Now, you can really do this anywhere you're strumming, like inside of a strum pattern or inside a picking pattern. You can really do it anywhere. But just to give you a little riff to practice on at first, I would suggest doing a 3-punch combo. First, you hit the big E, Then you hit whatever string you're going to hammer on, so in this case, the A string. Do the hammer on, and then just grab some of the treble string. So you go low string, hammer on, high strings. Again, low string, that right there. So E, hammer, then the top. Sounds pretty sweet, right? Now another one, you can do this with any of your fingers here. You can try this with your third finger on the D string as well. It's gonna sound great. And I'm just doing that exact same move where I hit the open E string, I do the hammer on, and then I hit some of the high string. Really start to play around with this, and you can even try combining different fingers, you know, try hammering on different notes. It sounds awesome. And the final one is the first finger on the G string, and that might be the best one here, you guys. That's probably the best one you want to steal here. Open E, hammer on the G string, hit some of those highs. So that's a cool thing to do with one of them. But you can also do this with all of them, you guys. You can literally, you can hammer on all three fingers if you've got the technique. So that's the hammer-on move. You can hammer on with any combination of fingers you want. You can do the riff I'm showing you where you hit the E, then you do the hammer-on, then the high E. You can also just do this in the middle of a strum pattern too. Just start with one of your fingers off and just hammer it on. Or a different finger. Doesn't have to be that exact riff of hitting the E string, the hammer on, then the high. That's just a good way to kind of get you started, but mess around with that. There is a lot of cool stuff you can do with chord hammer-ons. That's what the best open chord players are doing all the time. That's why they sound different than you when they're playing open chords. They're putting these hammer-ons in everywhere. Give it a try. You'll start sounding like a pro. Number 4, the slide riff. And this is a really good one when you want to take this E chord into kind of a bluesy zone. It's a very, very cool bluesy trick here. So check it out. We got very bluesy sounding on this one. So let's look at the technical side here. So we've got the E chord, right? Now there's one little slide move we're gonna attach to this E chord. So take everything off of the E chord and get your second finger onto the second fret of the G string. So I've got my E chord, everything comes off, second fret on the G string, slide it up to the 4th fret of the G string. Once you get to that 4th fret, add your first finger to the 3rd fret of the B string, and don't take off your second finger. Leave it there. And that is the slide move. So you can hang out there as long as you want. You can, you know, strum it. You got to do it shorter. Right, slide it as much as you want. Hang out there as long as you want. You can also try playing it playing single notes on here. So you can strum it, you can single notes, you can strum it once, you know, just 2 single notes, whatever you want to do. It's just, you're jamming here, right? Totally up to you. So slide in after you've had your fill. You're gonna do the opposite that we started off with. Your 4 on the G string with our middle finger, you're gonna slide that one back to the 2nd fret. Then you're gonna hit the open, G string that is, and then we go back to our E. Like I said, it can be that short, or it can be long. Even throw one of those little hammer-ons at the end. Start combining tricks here. But like I said, that one is a really good one if you want to get a bit of a bluesy feel out of that E chord. Tip number 5, the final tip of the day. And this one is called the E chord scales. And let me show you what this looks and sounds like first. You've probably heard this before. It's one of my favorite sounds, one of my favorite ways to kind of extend an E chord here. Few famous songs have done this. One that comes to my head right away is Melissa by the Allman Brothers. Right? The other one is All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. He does a little bit of that. Just a beautiful, beautiful sound here. So let's check out how we do this so you can start making these beautiful sounds as well. So I find the best way to wrap your head around this in the beginning is to not play your E chord with its regular fingering. What you actually want to do is play your E chord with this fingering right here. So swap out fingers 1, 2, 3 for fingers 2, 3, and 4. So I've got my free first finger at this point here. So it's an E, almost done like a bar chord. I find if you start this off, this makes a lot more sense. So that's the first chord, the start of our chord scale. Next one we're gonna do, move the whole thing up 2 frets. Stay on these strings though. That's one of the important things. This just stays on these strings. So we've moved it up 2. Now there's one more step. Instead of using my second finger on the 3rd fret of the G string, I want to use my first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. So first finger on the 2nd fret, and that's the second chord right there. So first chord, just to step that back again, move it up 2, first finger comes on, second comes off, and that is our second chord. You still want to strum right through all 6 strings just like an E chord. And you're gonna move this up 2 more frets, same exact shape. Now we're at 6 and 4. So we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3. Now 4 is gonna be back to the regular E chord shape. So grab that same, funky E chord we started off with, but this time it's at 7, 7, and 6. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now repeat that E chord shape again, 2 frets higher. So I've got 7, 7, 6, move it up to 9, 9, 8, and then there's one final one, the second chord. We're gonna do it now at 11, 11, and 9. And that is our full chord scale. So I've got back down. Just such a beautiful, beautiful sound. You put those in almost any order and they sound amazing. I could do that all day. I just love the sound of those chords. So definitely want to explore those. They're a little bit harder to get under your fingers, but man, I got to tell you, that is some of the funnest stuff to play on the guitar. I just want you to know, if you've been struggling with anything that we talked about in today's lesson, there's a good chance that it's not actually your fault. I've built this really cool custom training tool. It's designed to not only tell you exactly what you've been doing wrong that's killing your progress, but it's also going to provide you with a custom lesson to address the #1 thing stopping your progress. So click here to take the quiz now. You'll also find a copy of it in the description of this video. Take the quiz, jump over that hurdle, and finally start progressing on the guitar like you've always wanted to. I'll see you in the next lesson.